YNW Melly's lawyers are determined to have Melly released on bond until trial begins in January. As reported today, sources confirm YNW Melly's retrial will still begin opening arguments on January 8th. On Wednesday, November 8th, jury selection panel was strike from retrial upon YNW Melly's defense request, as Judge Murphy approved. As YNW Melly's trial was originally supposed to begin in 23 days from today, YNW Melly's lawyers has now had it pushed back until January the 8th, all due to very creative lawyer work, as they were able to have the newly picked jury all removed from YNW Melly's retrial, as further explained here.
So jury selection for the retrial of YNW Melly began on October 18th, and today the entire panel was struck. According to these documents that I got from Bryson Boone Paul, the reason behind all of this is because during the period in which attorneys ask potential jurors questions to see if they are a good fit on the panel, the defense, which is Melly's team, told jurors that the state has to prove all elements of the crime, including Melly's association. The state basically said, you just told them wrong. No, we don't have to do that. So the attorneys and the judge have some back and forth about the issue, and it becomes clear that Melly's team was actually wrong and confused. So the judge says to fix it, he will read the correct instructions to the jury so that everybody is clear. But then Melly's team asked to strike the entire jury panel, saying that, quote, he would lose all credibility with the jurors if the court reads the correct instruction. And the court agreed with the defense. So the entire panel was stricken or struck, and they're starting all over.
As YNW Melly's angle for case dismissal or even just a release on bond is all based around Melly's rights being violated. It was announced, and I quote, YNW Melly's lead attorney, Jamie Benjamin, filed for a second motion to dismiss for government and prosecutor misconduct in violation of the defendant's due process rights with the Broward clerks on Wednesday, November 1st. As YNW Melly has a very high chance of release due to his rights being violated per the 14th Amendment.
Have added Christine Bradley, the prosecutor herself, to the witness list, and 5 other attorneys from the state attorney's office who they say knew about this situation. That's 7 attorneys from the state attorney's office. Because of this, Melly's attorneys are saying keeping Christine Bradley and this state attorney's office on this case is not only a conflict of interest, it's actually a violation of Melly's right to due process, which is a part of the 14th Amendment.
As currently there's only one reason YNW Melly doesn't receive even just bond at this current time, as after his lawyers submitted the case dismissal, the prosecutors then released a never-before-seen video about YNW Melly, where the report goes and reads, "This is the video we requested from prosecutors in the state of Florida versus Jamel Demons. We have the honor of representing the family of Christopher Thomas, aka YNW Juvie. Melly's defense attorneys filed a motion for protective order to prevent me from obtaining this video. The video was on Melly's cell phone, and it was recorded a month after he allegedly got his 2 friends, Christopher Thomas and Anthony Williams. It doesn't show a man in mourning or seeking answers for his lost friends. It mocks them, if not takes credit for it through false expression.
No regrets for that I did. That also mean for the nigga. Yeah. 4:30 a.m. Never say when.
As YNW Melly's only chance of release now is having the case dismissed through his rights being violated. To understand this further, we need to dive deep into YNW Melly's new charges. As due to YNW Bortland's actions, Melly is in even more trouble now.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a 2-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
As it all begins when it was announced that YNW Bortland was arrested for witness tampering charges. As while in the house raid of YNW Bortland, the feds found insane paperwork against Bortland and Melly, as YNW Bortland committed one of the worst crimes you can do while being involved in a court hearing process.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law&Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortland allegedly tampered with the witness.
As it would be later announced by Bryson Paul, here are the images of the alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortland last week, filed into the clerks by the state, alongside these photos here of YNW Bortland detailing where certain jurors were sitting, alongside a description of what they looked like in the YNW Melly trial. This is one of the worst crimes that you can do when being in a court hearing setting. To understand how serious this is, here's DJ Akademiks' reaction.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Like, god damn. Holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, brother, like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
As this would give a very bad look onto YNW Melly and especially YNW Bortland, which is why it makes sense the following day, YNW Juvie's father would then do an emergency interview with Law&Crime, giving the new prosecutor in Melly's case even more evidence to use against Melly in January, as Juvie's father would expose how YNW Melly and Bortland were witness tampering and even what code words they were using to make Melly's ex-girlfriend not testify against them.
Both Melly, Jamel Dimmons, YNW Melly, and Cortland Henry, who is known as YNW Bortland, are now charged with witness tampering. It sounds like the prosecutors are saying there was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person, and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures to try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom. And
however, it's when YNW Juvie's father would then share what happened on the morning of the crime, the moment that he drove to clarify to law enforcement that YNW Juvie, his son, was the one that sadly passed, as YNW Melly's mother would tell his father something very weird.
He wasn't, He had switched vehicles. At least that's what they said in the first trial, that he had gotten into, it was suggested through a defense witness, the one and only defense witness, that he had gotten into that other vehicle. Yeah,
they was telling me that I drove down there that morning to go identify Chris. I met Moretti down there that morning, other 26. And on the way down there, when I talked to Jamie, she told me the same thing. Like, don't talk to the media and tell them Melly wasn't there. Instantly, my antennas went up because I didn't understand. Like, I knew from that day, I knew something was up.
As Juvie's father is dropping insane evidence that we have never heard before, as then he would share the last moment that he saw Christopher, including how the trial is affecting him and his family.
Last time I spoke to Chris was like 2 days before the incident. Him and Melly FaceTimed me, and that's the last time I saw him. Last time I spoke to him was like that same week, man. It just hurt me to see that the love that he had for Melly to do that to him. I see if it was one of his enemies or somebody, he did something wrong or something, but the way it happened, how it happened, who did it, it just heartbreaking on both sides.
All of this legal wrangling that's leading to a delay in the second trial, how are you?
I'm taking it one day at a time. You know, you got to go through this process once again. I'll relive it once once again.
As sources labeled this a very important interview, the new lead prosecutor, known as Stephen Klinger, now has a ton of new evidence to use against YNW Melly. Even a friend of late King Von, being an O-Block resident named Jay Hood, did an interview recently where he would reveal something very unexpected, as King Von may have mentioned a little too much to a group of people that live in O-Block, as Jay Hood would reveal what he said.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? What the bam? I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
Revealing that Sack Chaser and Juvie were allegedly going after Melly for financial gain, as the evidence of Melly committing this crime is pretty severe when you add everything together. Fans couldn't believe it when Sergeant Williams would reveal, after investigating the Jeep that they were driving in, there is no way that this could have been a drive-by, and the crime had to have happened from somebody inside of the car.
Assignment, which is to determine if this is a drive. And my determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done. One is done at a stationary position. The at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that to create the little bit of a that you see there.
Number, you said 17 outside the car. How many rounds were inside the car?
3.
And can you exclude the for Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas is coming from outside of the car?
Yes. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that was Christopher Thomas, where did that emanate from?
Driver's side back seat.
Okay. Is it possible for there to have been 2 inside that car?
No.
Why not?
There is no time.
As a man named Trayvon Glass would then go on to reveal the truth about what happened on that night, as Trayvon was also at the recording studio with Melly, Juvie, Sack Chaser, and Bortland. However, he went home in the red van that is parked beside Melly's Jeep. According to Trayvon, the plan was for them to meet back at a fellow rapper named Fredo Bang's house. The red car arrived at Fredo's, however, Melly's vehicle never showed up. The record would show that only Bortland took Sack Chaser and Juvie to the hospital on this night, as the prosecutors covered that YNW Melly called Fredo Bang to pick him up off the side of the road after the incident was done.
And Chris Thomas are. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin to his current location to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Givens, then, about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Devins has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone calls.
As with Melly arriving at Fredo's house, Trayvon noticed that Melly had a change of clothing from when he left the recording studio to when he arrived at Fredo's.
Okay. Was that the first time you saw Melly after you guys left the studio?
Yeah.
Was Melly wearing the same clothes or different clothes than when you saw him at the studio?
It was a new day. Nah, he wasn't.
Nah, he wasn't. You guys
Wasn't wearing the same clothes.
Okay. Do you recall what he was wearing?
Just had on some shorts.
This without a doubt made Melly look very guilty. However, moments later was even worse, as the prosecutors would share text messages from Melly's cell phone, where he literally admits to doing the crime.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message, the YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.